It's 18 degrees in Chicago. The shelter on West Madison has open beds tonight. Hot food, a shower, a place to sleep where you won't freeze to death. Marcus walks past the door. He doesn't stop, doesn't look in. He'll sleep behind the gas station again, same spot he's been using for 3 winters. 700 people die from hypothermia on American streets every year. The door is right there, it's open. Why does he keep walking? Most of us already have an explanation for this. They're on drugs, they're mentally ill, they've given up on themselves. It's the answer that feels complete the moment you say it out loud. Someone who is thinking clearly would walk through that door, take the hot meal, sleep in a warm bed, and figure out the rest in the morning. So if they're not doing that, something must be broken inside them. It's like watching a patient walk out of a hospital mid-treatment. The medicine is right there, the bed is ready, the doctor is waiting. But the patient stands up, pulls out the IV, and leaves. And we think that person is not in their right mind. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. That's where most of us stop thinking about it. We feel bad for them, maybe we donate to a shelter once a year, but underneath all of it, we believe the problem lives inside the person. Something in them is broken, and until that gets fixed, there's nothing more we can do. It makes sense, it feels true, and for years that's where I stopped too. But here is where it stops adding up. In San Francisco, the city tracked every shelter offer made to homeless individuals over several months. 60% were refused. If this were only about drugs and mental illness, you'd expect the sober, stable ones to say yes. You'd expect the refusal to come from the people in the worst shape. But talk to outreach workers, the ones who know people by name, who have had the same conversation hundreds of times on hundreds of cold nights. They'll tell you something strange. The sober ones refuse too. People with no addiction, no psychosis, no diagnosis at all. They say the same thing everyone else says. I'd rather sleep outside. A man in Boston who hadn't touched alcohol in 4 years said it. A woman in Portland with no history of mental illness said it. A veteran in Chicago who held a job for 6 months and still slept behind a dumpster said it. It's like watching a patient refuse their medicine and then realizing the patient is perfectly lucid, clear-eyed, calm. They're not confused about what they're turning down. They know exactly what's behind that door. They've been inside before. And they walked out. Something else is happening here, we just haven't looked at it yet. Maybe we've been asking the wrong question. We keep asking, why are they refusing the shelter? As if the shelter is obviously good and the street is obviously bad, and the only mystery is what's wrong with the person in between. But what if we flip it? What is the street giving them that the shelter can't? Same situation, same man, same cold night. But a different question, and suddenly the answer might be somewhere we never thought to look. Think about where Marcus actually stands. Not tonight, not just this winter, think about the years that led him here. He had an apartment once, a job, a wife, a credit score that meant something, health insurance with his name on it. One by one, those things disappeared. Some he lost through bad luck, some through bad decisions, some through a system that doesn't catch you when you fall. By the time he's standing on West Madison in 18-degree weather, almost everything that made his life recognizable is gone. But there's one thing left, one thing that nobody has taken yet. He still decides what happens to him hour by hour, where he goes when he sleeps, who he's with, that's it, that's what's left. Now look at what the shelter asks. Be inside by 9, out by 6. No alcohol if you smell like a beer, the door stays closed. No dog, leave him outside or give him up. Your bag has to fit in this locker, anything that doesn't fit you leave behind. Your wife sleeps in the women's wing, you sleep in the men's, lights out at 10. Shower on their schedule, eat on their schedule. The shelter isn't being cruel. 200 strangers under one roof need rules. The rules make sense from the outside. But for Marcus, every single rule is one more thing he no longer gets to decide. Now look at the street. He sleeps when he wants. His dog is next to him, his wife is next to him, his backpack, everything he still owns in the world stays at his feet. Nobody tells him when to wake up. Nobody separates him from the only living thing that still trusts him. Cold, dangerous, miserable, but his. So when Marcus walks past that shelter door, he isn't being irrational, he's doing math. The shelter offers a roof. In exchange, it asks for the last thing he still controls. The street offers nothing, but it takes nothing either. Imagine someone offered you a free hotel room tonight, warm, clean, meals included, but you have to be in by 9, out by 6. No partner in your room, no pet, your bag has to fit in a small locker, lights out at 10, you shower when they say. Most of us would think about it for maybe 3 seconds, and then go back to our cramped apartment with the leaky faucet and the broken heater. Not because the hotel is bad, because the apartment is ours. Now imagine you don't have the apartment, you don't have anything. The only thing you have is the ability to say, I decide. And someone offers you a roof in exchange for that last thing. For someone who still has 100 things they control, it's an easy trade, a roof for a few rules, sure. For someone who has one thing left, it's not a trade, it's a surrender. Here's the pattern. When you've lost everything else, the last thing you own is the right to choose. A roof you didn't choose feels like a cage, a street you chose feels like yours. This isn't unique to homelessness. It's how anyone behaves when their world has shrunk to one final freedom. The retiree who refuses to leave a crumbling house for a nicer facility. The patient who declines treatment because it's the last decision that still belongs to them. It doesn't matter how good the offer looks from the outside. When you're the one standing at that door, the math is different. The person making the offer counts what they're giving. The person receiving it counts what they're losing. And when what you're losing is the last thing you have, no roof in the world is worth it. It's still 18 degrees in Chicago. Marcus is still walking past the shelter on West Madison. Same man, same night, same decision. But now you can see what he's doing. He isn't refusing help, he's protecting the only thing he still owns. We thought we were offering him a roof. He heard us asking for the last piece of himself. He isn't broken, he's choosing, and once you see it that way, you can't unsee it.